Let's try this. Yeah, that's not working either. What is going on here, OBS? Why can't I hear myself? Why aren't you... Well, it seems like it's broadcasting properly. It sounds like, it looks like the sound is going out, and it looks like you can hear what I'm saying. It says that it's pushing out live. Let's check Twitch and thank you, Will. Check that we're working here, check that we're working there. Okay. Hi, chat. I can't hear a thing. I might as well just take this out of my ear and reset the music because I know that just stopped it, didn't it? Welcome back. Hi, chat. So where was I? This is annoying when I can't hear music. I want to hear music, chat. Anyways, White Castle. I don't know what's going on with... Oh, let's address what happened there. I'm not sure what's going on here whatsoever. Again, continuing issues with OBS. It is... yeah. It's... The entire, like... Windows didn't completely freeze, but OBS most certainly froze, and it then froze a lot of other things. Like, I couldn't... Like, my mouse was free to move, and I could click on my bot program, but trying to type in my bot program was not going to happen. So I had to switch to my phone, get Twitch app open, and say, hey, everything crashed. This seems to be happening almost every other stream, like right at the beginning of stream, and it's getting royally frustrating. But I don't know. There continues to be some sort of gremlin that's going on that's preventing things from bot working right, whether if the bot software is just junk or not, or if OBS, some plugin, some conflict, something's happening. I don't know. And at this point I'm royally just done with it. Back to making stuffing. We're making, and we rebooted, so we have to fix autofocus. Spending stuffing. I don't remember how much these were. That very much could be. I'm gonna do 3 of them for the stuffing, and 3 of them for the rice. Actually, I take that back. No, we're gonna do 4 and 4, and then 4 for the dessert. I'm basically doing this to all of these. I should just dice all of them. I don't think it was that pricey. Is it this one? I doubt it. Nope. I don't know what I did with the receipt. It should be here somewhere. I keep most of my receipts for a short period of time. Then I keep the really big ones in case I can write them off on taxes. I thought it was hilarious. A Minecraft streamer's first response to the Minecraft trailer coming out today, which was not overly impressive. I'm not expecting. Yeah. But his first response was, "Hey, a movie I'm gonna get a tax deduction to go see." This year, though, this year is all TwitchCon. Like, I don't even need to save receipts this year. It's just going to be like the hotel room. Why are you out? You should go back away. No, we've talked about turducken before. I diced up all of those and then said I was going to do 4 and 4. We're calling that 2. A turducken is not how I would like to cook a turkey, duck, or chicken. Sincerely think that it does none of them, it improves none of them in any way. It's entirely a parlor trick. Like, look at what I made. There's a lot of that in food lately. You know, like ice cream made with nitrogen is a perfect example. Like, can you make great ice cream with nitrogen? Yes. But why are you trying to do it small scale? Because it looks good. Yeah, I was talking about that too earlier, Froggy. These are 6-packs, and most everything I read were talking 10-packs. I actually worried if I needed to go and grab another box afterward because I was like, because everything I read was 10-packs, and I was sort of mentally figuring that, and my house smells like White Castle now. Like, they have like a unique smell to their burgers. And my house smells like them right now. It's that off onion, slightly meaty flavor or smell that they have. Junior? Who's Junior? They usually name the big ones Junior. Yeah. I want something other than water. Ooh. Thank you for the resub, Nan Reader. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, Junior Soprano. Do I want to bother with the dessert ones yet, or... Yeah, let's get those soaking too. I do have to say, for anyone that doesn't read the Discord, if you have not been to White Castle's recipe list, it's quite epic. It's quite, like, they've done my work for me here tonight. They have everything from meatloaf, meatballs, hush puppies, what are some of the other ones? They suggested just dipping them whole in fondue dip. They have... at one point, I thought Hawaiian rolls was the pinnacle of company recipe lists with their absolutely ridiculous photos of things like a whole bone-in short rib sandwich with the rib like magically hanging off in the air. No, I think White Castle has them outdone with all of the recipe and some of the weirdest. Like the number one that shows on their list there is like a lie to begin with. It's sort of hilarious. Like they suggest turning these into queso, and the queso that they show has like little bits of the burger diced up in there, and like you don't see the bread at all. You click on the recipe and you see the recipe one, and it's just this like mountainous mass with all the bread in there. It's like they completely ignored the bread in the one in the photo for their main webpage. One that I almost went with after looking at their list was using them for poutine. They suggested quartering them, putting them with their own fries, and then smothering them in your own gravy and curds. Have plenty of half and half in the house, just no coffee. Okay, why did you stop following me? Both of you stopped following me. When was the last time I've had White Castle? It has been a very long time. Likely in the ballpark of 2 decades. I don't remember if I actually went there, but I think I've actually eaten. Well, I don't know if I went there or not, but I remember seeing the White Castle when I was in Vegas, which would make it much sooner. And I'm not talking my most recent Vegas trip, but yeah. Well, White Castle, like, McDonald's really sort of revolutionized the hamburger in America, but White Castle was among the first, like, real hamburger joints in the US. And so they have a model that a lot of the traditional burger joints have followed. So like I think of that sort of like almost like the painting scene in the diner where except it's just an all-white exterior. Now they've turned into small little boxes. It's almost like they're like trying to make their restaurant look cute or something. So we're gonna let that soak with the half and half in there for a little bit, and that's gonna be for our pudding. Now we need to get into the veggies. Since I'm making stuffing, there's all sorts of veggies tonight. But mostly the usual suspects. I'm going to start off with mirepoix here. No, I didn't go to TwitchCon last year. I didn't have a big interest in going to see TwitchCon be dwarfed by all that Vegas is, and I knew that it wasn't going to work out for them there. And Vegas, I don't really have a huge desire to go back to Vegas just by myself on my own, sort of a thing, like without some other external motivation, because last time I went, I was almost sickened by how it's gotten compared to the way it used to be. You know, things are never the way they used to be. I've talked before about how, like, I don't go there for the food. I'm sure the food is amazing, but it's also all union. It's not the, like, actual, like, chefs sort of a thing. And a lot of it's changed. Like, used to love, like, the buffets. And not even so much that they were that cheap, because by the time I was going there, they weren't all that cheap anymore. It's that, you know, they had some cool and interesting things for large service and quick service. I have never worked or lived in Vegas. I have just gone there, trips, vacations, seeing people, random weekends, at least a half dozen times. Probably closer to something like 10 times. I went to Comdex back in the day when that was a thing. I went to one of the EQ conventions back in the day. And then handful of trips, both by myself and both with family. What's my favorite Arizona flavor? The ones that aren't pure sugar, even though all of them are pure sugar, and that are 89 cents. Hi, Buns. Welcome in, No Nows. Hello, T. I think it's a local thing. The Safeways all around here have had them for 89 cents for, I think, a year now. Meanwhile, Oliver's, which is it's a local chain, but it's another chain here, has them on sale for $1.69. And they have had them on sale for $1.69 for like a year. But them being 99 cents is a strong part of the draw for me. Things never stay the same. I remember as a teenager thinking, when these were relatively new, wow, $1 for a can? That's freaking expensive. I'm not gonna pay that. And now it's like, can of Coke, especially if it's refrigerated, like $2-3 at a store. Get out of the little well in my cutting board here so I can actually cut through you. Even if y'all made me president, I couldn't do that. There's a little bit of onion here. This might be more than I need. Do need onion for 2 things, but I don't think I need that much still, so we'll grab 3 bowls here. delicious. As was the chicken rice I made with the leftovers last night. I just made rice with chicken stock rather than water, and then tossed the rest of it with it. Okay, so rice and stuffing. No, I didn't make another. I was saying there, I just made some rice out of chicken stock and put all the leftovers with it for last night. Ooh, did you get anything good? I'd ask if you got a punch key, but it isn't that time of year. Sweet cheese pierogies. Pierogies is something that you go on the calendar. Sweet cheese pierogies, like with like a cream cheese? I don't know that I've had those before. I've always gone with the like cheddar and onion and Hi, Ratty Patty. Blueberry potato. Says the guy that's combining blackberries and sliders. I was going to do caramelized apple. I decided that was a little boring and grabbed the thing of blackberries instead. Oh, Froggy, my dessert tonight is going to be a blackberry and slider pudding. Carrot. 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 No. One too many there. Eyes too big, Jay. I knew they were dessert sweet ones, but I don't know if they're... Like, I'm actually legitimately curious if they're more of a, you know, American Polish thing than an actual thing. I'm not Polish, by the way, Chad. I'm American. Thank you for the raid, Buns. Welcome, Raiders. I'm working with White Castle sliders tonight. Chat's making me make dinner and dessert using sliders as an ingredient. Which, by the way, if you want to say in next Wednesday's challenge, there is a new vote up. It's next week is avocado versus hot dogs. I think hot dogs is winning. I don't... Thank you for the raid, Buns. Alright, what else do we have to chop up for this? We have green onion here somewhere. Somewhere. At least I thought I had some in here somewhere. Originally sweet. Okay. I just spaced on coffee. I didn't make coffee. I would have discovered this morning if I had went to make coffee for myself, but I got up, got going, did my walk, all that fun stuff, and just didn't make coffee for myself. And of course, because I mean, there's so many people living here, when I ran out the other morning, I remembered that too. It's partly to blame because my typical buying of coffee these days tends to be more based around when I see it on sale. You know, it's on sale typically, you know, like at least once every month or so. And so between two places and me going out shopping virtually every day, I do live alone. I was kidding about, I was pointing out the fact that I also sat there and noticed that, you know, the coffee ran out. Forgot that and didn't buy it. Didn't make it this morning and didn't notice that I was out of beans again and didn't buy it. Should be set buns. Though you're supposed to have the 300 sprinkles at the end there too. I don't think I'm going to use these tail pieces. And we're also going to separate that. Throw most of these in with the stuffing. Except it's for 300, chat. And we changed it to join. Yeah, JK. I changed it to join because it was shorter. Don't want you to have to type as much, especially if you're using one of those annoying little digital keyboards. So, zoom right. Oh, I don't have it open. I don't have that bot working tonight. Got my cast iron pot here. We're gonna start sauteing some veggies. It's still not warm enough for me. We're getting there though. Music volume okay tonight? I mean, I normally can't tell the music volume anyways, but I primarily use organic sunflower oil for cooking, or for neutral oil uses. And then sometimes I have other options around. Thank you, JK, and they can see me. I've got extra virgin olive oil here, California extra virgin olive oil. And then when it comes to frying, I generally just go with cheap oil. I'm not picky about that unless it's, you know, it matters if you're doing something over and over again, like you're a restaurant or something like that. You want to get a certain flavor profile. But for around home, onions going in. Salt. Yeah, it's good stuff. It's just pricey. Like, I haven't looked at prices of salt recently since now I'm sort of set for salt for a while. But last time I looked, you know, I sort of think of salt like you buy a 3-pound box for $3, and real salt is like you buy a 1-pound sack for $9. What am I drinking? Lemon iced tea, Pentoed. Because I'm out of coffee and I wanted something more than just water. I didn't sell a used car. My problem, well, there are some kosher salts that I just won't buy. Like, I won't buy 365. I used it for a while here on chat, complained about it nonstop. The grind on 365 kosher is not kosher to me. It's all over the place. Like, you don't get a proper feel for how much you're pulling out of that. Penton, no, I was talking about it earlier. I like it because it's cheap. It's not super cheap, but I mean, 89 cents for a can these days is pretty cheap. It's not that I think it's anything special or exciting. Which to go, and we'll do this for the stuffing. And I actually prefer the raspberry to the lemon flavor, but as I was saying before, it's on sale for 10 cents less than typical, and so like the store puts them out and they disappear. It's hilarious. You have a penchant for everything. Hi to the Derek. I don't know why I spoke that way, but welcome in, the Derek. Oh. It quite very possibly could be if you didn't type exclamation mark scramble ahead of time. I sort of hacked the scramble together, and so you have to join every time. Oh, I'm gonna give it to you, Derek, because you had that. You just didn't make it before the timer because you didn't know about the command. Uh-oh. That's a surprising poll. Oh, I didn't edit that. You shouldn't have to type claim, Froggy. It's surprising because my impressions from the beginning of stream and talking about White Castle was that many in chat were unfamiliar. And now the poll is looking much more familiar. Congrats, Froggy, on your sprinkles. Don't spend them all in one place. And for the time it was, man. Like, that was Heinz's thing, too. Let's see. How much do we have to soak here? I think I want even less than that. I think I want to use even less than that. Adding some chicken bouillon. Water. Heat off on that. Actually, I need to check something here. I didn't look into this first. This product contains a bioengineered food ingredient. Oh, I just feel so great about eating these. And we're going to go from here into here, which you can't see over there. No, the bioengineered product was something in the sliders is bioengineered. Science. I'm gonna add a touch more garlic to this. I'm going to add some garlic to this Probably some in the burgers. Thyme. Ground ginger. So there's our stuffing for our chops tonight, our bread stuffing. And let's get ready going with our stuff for our rice. It's got liquid in it. All right, have you look at the board here for a second while I go and grab my rice. Weigh out the last of my rice here. That's less than I thought I had. Do I have any other rice here? Nope, I'm riced out. Yeah, why not? A little flavor never hurts. Not wild rice, just basmati. I think it's basmati. Jasmine or basmati. They're typically the only two that I buy. They're both sort of long grains. Jasmine's typically a little bit nicer and softer, but it's also typically more expensive. And let's get into adding some blackberries to our mix here. Actually, do I want to add these now? Or do I want to... I think I'm going to wait until we're ready to bake that, basically. It ain't wild rice unless you're getting it from an Indian reservation in the US anyways. Nice. Minnesota has some nice rice. Like, we grow everything here in California, so like. Nice. How we doing tonight, chat? Y'all having a good week? Do we use cinnamon with the blackberry? Or I'm sort of thinking maybe nutmeg instead. Because nutmeg plays well with meat too. I do not have a recipe for you. I would suggest you try just blending up some blackberries, straining them so they're nice and smooth, and adding them to your tea. It's probably pretty tasty. Ginger's a good call too. Salt, MSG, and pepper with our rice and bouillon. Yeah, there's berries growing wild all around me, and between homeless people probably living off of them and me not really needing to steal them away from them, and me not knowing the quality of said berries has me questioning them. But yeah, it's it's typically the easiest way, because only a certain percentage of them are of any crop is gonna be like pretty want to eat, don't want to till back into the ground, and turning them into a syrup, sauce, jams, jellies, preserves, anything along that line just greatly increases that yield point, because the ugly but edible stuff gets dropped in there. But the ugly but edible stuff also has good flavor a lot of the time. Every once in a while there's, something that's disgusting there you don't want, but that full rounded flavor usually involves a little nastiness. So rice, I'm turning the flame off on the rice and just letting that sit for another 10 minutes. We're gonna go over here and start cooking again. bit more sunflower oil, more onions and carrots. It also helps when you're cooking those things to deal with other nasty stuff that goes on, such as dried spices are one of the greatest contributors to E. coli consumption. You know, like everyone worries about E. coli on beef, you should be worried about E. coli in your pepper. And the reason for that is because in many cases, those dried spices are open air dried, open air for whatever to fly above and do its business. Too much with that one, chat? Nice. Mousseline. That for that. Absolutely, Pentoad, but try getting people to pay for that. Try telling some third world country farmer that you should be doing that in the fancy warehouse to make it safe. I think we got enough as it is. There's like, if you look it up, like, you hear about every once in a while, but they're like a couple a week. It's like there's one a day almost. Corn chowder. It isn't that it isn't a serious problem, it's that there isn't good traceability. There isn't good traceability really anywhere in food. IBM was talking a good game for a while there about using distributed ledger or Bitcoin type processes to track produce, but I don't see any of that. And that boils down to subsidies too. I'm not a big fan of food subsidies, and a lot of that is, well, we just bought the government corn, or we just bought the government this or that, and you know, that's just all piled into one giant pile, and we don't know what farm that came from, we don't know what specific variety that is. It just fit. Yeah, that IBM, the computer company IBM. But because of that standard with subsidies and stuff like that, we just haven't bothered really with anything else with proper tracking. That's something else I tried to fix with my business too, that I used to have QR codes on all my products that listed what farms I bought everything from. Normally I would throw the meat in here next for my stir fry, but because of the bread, I'm not going to be doing that. I can use some of this for that. Remember this chop? That's not very traditional for fried rice either, but I mean, hey, I'm throwing sliders in fried rice. I probably should have gotten the cheese sliders for the fried rice, but I dare ya. Onion. Vidalia is making me think that I should try making my own sweet onion vinaigrette my own sometime. There was a sweet onion vinaigrette. I think they sold it at like Costco or Walmart or something. Like, you look at the ingredients and I realize now after getting it, and this was years and years ago, it is basically sugar. Most salad dressings are basically sugar, but I sort of want to try and make my own now. Yep, Penode. Well, I went to Culinary Institute in New York, Institute of America in New York, and that is in Hyde Park, which is just north of Poughkeepsie. And if anyone is familiar with Poughkeepsie and what has happened with IBM in Poughkeepsie, yeah. Poughkeepsie was a big IBM town, and there was a big factory there, and no more. True Vidalias are only from specific region, only available a certain time of year, typically overpriced because of the marketing. Sweet onions are great, but Vidalias are sort of like the brand of sweet onion. Yes, that Hyde Park. He was more Rhinebeck than Hyde Park, but yeah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We've got our cooked rice. And I'm sitting here, do I add the rice first or do I add the sliders first? I think I'm going to do rice first, chat. I guess I called this dirty rice, though. I didn't call it fried rice, did I? Yeah, Peta Broccoli, I enjoyed living up there. The winters are a bit harsh, but the way summers are going these days. Alright, adding the sliders in. It got too pricey for me to want to do it for this, chat, but I strongly considered pineapple for both the fried rice and for the bread pudding. I almost feel like that could use a little American cheese. I don't think I have any in the house right now, though. But we'll go without it now. I've also got a pretty cool GE, is it a GE typewriter commercial in my AFK screen? Can't remember. Back to dessert. There we go, some fresh nutmeg in there. A little ginger. That grater looks familiar. Microplane? They were all the rage back in the day. Because they had like the perfect grind, the perfect setup. Nowadays, don't waste your money on fancy name grater. What was I about to throw in there? Blackberries. Oh. Egg. Actually, I've talked before about working in a small little retail shop during college. That was in Rhinebeck. They converted it into a restaurant after I moved out, and I don't know what it is these days. Sugar. I thought about going back to visit. Not in love with global warming is changing my opinions of things, but basically when I moved out here to California after growing up in the Midwest, going to college in New York, I said to myself I was going to live somewhere where I didn't have to deal with snow in order to get to go to work or to deal with my normal daily life. And so that cuts out a lot of that sort of space. Hudson Valley's definitely got some foodies and some food there too, though. Like, what did I do with my... No, they can see me. I did put some nutmeg. I'm sort of thinking cinnamon with blackberry and the sliders. Maybe not the best combo. Mostly the blackberry and cinnamon is not my favorite combo. We're going to throw a few more blackberries in there, though. So we have nutmeg, sugar, sliders, half and half, blackberries, egg, going back to speaking about the recipe. Ooh, this is mighty thin for that. This pan's too small. Did you have the water boiling when you got home, Buns? Nutmeg. Oh, I threw ginger powder in here too. I forgot that I did that the first run around with. I was just joking that because you got corn at the farmers markets, the saying that I've repeated multiple times on stream is that, you know, you should have the water boiling when you pick it. So I was asking if you had the water boiling when you got home from the farmers market. This is looking good, chat. Like, for a dirty fried rice, I'd eat that, no problem. Have no problems with that one. Ugh, dad joke. Ugh. Debating how I want to go about doing this. I don't remember, but they're under 10 bucks. It wasn't what the sticker was. The sticker was almost 11. Safeway seems to be, well, both Lucky and Safeway seems to be doing more of, and Lucky and Safeway are the same company, same parent company. At least around here, seems to be focusing on the $5 price point with meats, and they're doing like these like $5 packs. Or buy, it's something along the lines of buy multiple of these and get them for $5 or something like that. And I look at them and I look at the price point and I'm like, yeah, they're not worth it, no. Especially with the quality of meat that they typically have like this. This is Safeway meat. Yeah, I own one, Penta. I have a small little transportable one, not really a high quality big one. What you looking at, Mr. Wiggles? Come over here. I am about induction cooktops. I like flame, I like gas, especially for my cast iron. But going forward, we're probably going to have to go electric. And they're one of the better options for electric. The problem with inductions that most people don't realize is the coils have lifetimes. The charging coils don't last forever. They are much more efficient as a cooking system. However, the tools that you can use with them, like a good portion of cast iron is actually useful on induction, but you also get things like that one, or is it this one? The ring on my smaller guy here means that this wouldn't have good contact, even though magnets stick to mine. Electric ones just take way too long to heat up regardless. I mean, induction is not electric. Well, induction uses electricity, but they are different from, in my mind, from anything that you say when you say electric oven. When you say electric oven to me, it's either that there's some sort of either coil or the like glass top ones that are typically still coils. The difference between induction and what makes them incredibly more efficient is this is your flame in cooking, this here, where in induction this is actually what's heating. Like in a gas or electric cooktops, you're taking a coil or a flame and you're heating a pot. In an induction cooktop, you are taking essentially a magnet and using the magnetic power to turn the pan into your cooking surface. The pan itself is heating up, and the surface itself heats up from being in contact with the pan, but really the induction cooktop doesn't heat up at all. And so you want to have a nice smooth and magnetic, like if your pan, you put a magnet on the bottom of your pan, it doesn't stick, it's not going to work on an induction. The precision temperature control is a big thing. It's not as precise as say like a immersion circulator or sous vide cooking, but yeah, you can get much more precise than you can with electric or flame. Then you get into the whole like artisan versus scientist. there's an art to cooking things that, you know, with a scale, you know, with a non-perfect temperature, that I think there is a percentage of people sort of fighting. It's sort of like the same thing happened with sous vide. Like, you read the opening to Thomas Keller's sous vide book, and he's like, I think this is an amazing technology and we most certainly are going to use it, but I sort of want my chefs to know how to properly glaze a carrot before they use an immersion circulator to make it. Let's go with you. Most plastic can't be reused, Penta. Just about nothing but pop bottles gets recycled. It was only 7 or 8 minutes late. What was the results of the poll? I didn't see what the results were. %63% for yes, no votes. It's either you don't know White Castle or you like White Castle. That's sort of shocking. Any plastic bag that has food in it of some form is not recyclable. They don't have the technology, especially in large scale, to clean out bags and get rid of all those small little particles that then ruin the plastic down the line. And so, grocery bags, plastic bags for produce, bags that you cook in, like none of it. Like none of that. And that's even if we had proper recycling here in the US, where we did have decent recycling back a while ago, but that was when we were taking all of our plastic and then shipping it off to some small country. For a while it was China, but to some small country that's essentially just taking our waste. There is no real, like, aside from like pop bottles getting recycled through like established like recycling systems, very little plastic is getting recycled these days. And it's because we don't have things set up for... There's companies out there that are trying to fix that, but like, yeah, like basically no plastic gets recycled. So, oven's at 350. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this beauty into the oven. I have seen one of the Harold and Kumar movies. I don't remember which it is, and I saw it once. I don't even know if I saw it all the way through. Yeah, they can see me. They do have a bottle return here in California. It's pretty horrid, though. It's pretty bad. Like, it's not like... I know other states you can just return them back at like the grocery or the 7-Eleven or whatever you bought your soda cans from. Here in California, you have to take them there to either in like church parking lots or in random places. They have like these cargo containers where a couple of guys just out of prison sit there and take all your pop bottles and collect your personal info and send you a check. It's not a very good system here in California, and something that I would very much like to see changed. I am sort of the I haven't completely thought this through, but my general thought is that if you're a retailer selling something that's recyclable, you should be taking that recyclable item back for the recycler. And I think that should be a standard, not just for soda bottles. I think that should be a standard for everything. Oh, hey, our pan's hot back here. Trying to set things on fire. We're gonna let that cool quick a little bit because it's smoking without even oil in the pan. We're gonna sear some pork chops here next. I'm going to sear them and then stuff them and then finish them in the oven is the plan. We also have the problem with a lot of things being in the plastic. Like, let me see if I can think of something. Well, this is an okay example, even though it's not really one. Like, a lot of things you buy that are plastic have something else plastic, like forced. Like, I can screw this off, but in many cases, it's just like pressed on, permanently attached to it. Like, you buy those cheap salt and pepper grinders they have in stores with the built-in grinder and all that. There's no way for them to separate those plastics in recycling, and they're not going to melt the same. They're not going to create the same product. And so all of those things, especially the ones like grinders that have little bits of metal and stuff in them, they don't get recycled either. One of the recipes that gave me a joke, or gave me a chuckle on White Castle's website was they have a broccoli castle roll. Just some nice light salt on our pork. Yeah, that drives me nuts here in California too. We have a bag law as well. I sort of feel like it's more a visitor and non-internet sale tax than it is really a save the world by reducing plastic. Like, if we wanted to reduce plastic, there's a gazillion other things that we could do that would be much more effective and efficient that we won't. I mean, like, why don't we stop using plastic for weed whackers? majority of microplastics come from vehicle tires. There's probably some science there that could happen. The other downside to the bag laws is it then encourages people to use bags, but most people don't clean their bags. I'm not saying that there aren't people out there that clean their bags. I'm saying the majority of people don't clean their bags. It's been so long since I've been without my earbud for music. This is so weird. Like, I don't have any music. I usually have music to sit here and chat with you. I don't have any alerts or anything either, by the way, chat. I mean, I think I've been catching all the alerts, but I've been having to catch them visually. Almost. There you go, head of broccoli. Yep. Little green things. Well, there's capers too, but sups exist too. They're a little more leafy. Now you got me questioning if I'm remembering what subs are right. They're a little leafy green. Oh no, they're a mushroom. I have a wonderful memory. No, I haven't seen that They Can See Me. I didn't set a timer for this. Let's see how our... This is probably going to take a while, but yeah, we're going to give that a little while longer. Even though it's a small little bread pudding. We're going to give these a moment to rest too. I don't suspect that they're 100% cooked through. They do have... Yeah, they're not 100%. They're maybe going to be medium well once they rest. However, we just have to sear our pork. Sitting here thinking that I probably should have buttered that pan that I put the bread pudding in. Depends on the meat. But yeah, poultry you definitely need to get up there. Like pork standards are still 160, but also the number of trichinosis cases, I think that's the proper pronunciation, is next to nil these days. The danger of undercooked pork was primarily one disease that was being caused because they were keeping them enclosed in pens. And these days they've learned to put slats on the floors of those pens so that things fall through rather than them continuing to stand in it. And so it's much safer these days now that there's those national standards for commercial pork production. Oh, did Twitch block something there? Oh. Yeah, that's a different use of that term than you used it for. No scramble, it was blackberries. I thought you were sentient. So now that they've cooled a bit, I'm going to cut a pocket in them. It would depend on where the beef comes from. They can see me. I'm not going to eat it from one of the big processors, but I would certainly eat beef from a small producer that didn't run through one of the giant meat packing places that I've talked about before. I've certainly ate it before too. Like, they served a tartare dish when I was on my externship. I don't know if this is the optimal packing spoon, or I think we'll go with my favorite sauce spoon here. And then, as you can see, not completely cooked through, obviously. That's a good example, yeah. Like, you're getting just standard beef, ground beef, you probably shouldn't. Especially if you're getting the ground meat from the meat packers themselves. Like, I've discussed that before too, how, you know, the stuff you get from the meat packer in the, like, plastic tube is gonna be, like, thousands of cows versus you get it from your supermarket ground and it's going to be, you know, maybe 5 or 10 cows at most. I think we'll go right back into that same pan again. Oh, that could have gotten cut wider. Yeah. Yeah, I did put some chicken stock in with the rice. I didn't put chicken stock, rather I added some bouillon to the cooking liquid. Forgot this was a tighter fit. and down in the oven with these. I'm giving the bread stuffing another 10 minutes or so. Who wants some stuffing? All right, chat, I'm going to take a 10-minute AFK here. We'll come back to plating everything up and trying everything out, letting everyone know what I think I've created. Was it an abomination? Do I like White Castle bread pudding? You have to come back and find out. See you in about 10 minutes, folks.
Say, do you remember this old milk glass setting hen? Well, you know, milk glass was an early American favorite. And when the folks in the old days wanted something really delightful, they'd take one of their milk glass goblets and pour some very fine wine right into it. Well, now, you know, it's Welch's wine that is keeping this wonderful tradition alive. A real wine for folks who really want the best. Yes, today's answer to this age-old family tradition is Welch's family wine, the answer to warm hospitality and really gracious living, and the wine that so many Americans enjoy these wintry days. You know, there is very good reason for this ever-increasing popularity of Welch's wine. Now, you folks know that all sweet Concord kosher wines are made from grape juice, and everybody knows who has been making the very finest grape juice for the past 85 years. Welch's, of course. And that's right, the only kosher wine made from Welch's grape juice is naturally Welch's kosher wine. Now, when you want the best in grape juice, you buy Welch's. So, doesn't it make sense then, if you want the best and most delicious kosher wine, you insist on Welch's family wine? You get several bottles tomorrow. Try the half-gallon size. You enjoy the wine of all occasions. That's right, when it comes to wine, you'll do well to insist on Welch's.
Hello, may I come in? I am Chef Boyardee. Perhaps you have seen my picture on Chef Boyardee products at your grocer's. Today, I want to tell you about a wonderful dinner for three. A dinner that only costs about 15 cents a serving. It's my own Chef Boyardee spaghetti dinner with meat sauce or mushroom sauce. It all comes in one carton. A full half pound of tender, quick-cooking spaghetti, 10 full ounces of rich, tasty sauce, and to top it off, a whole can of zippy grated cheese. A wonderful food. So ask your grocer for Chef Boyardee spaghetti dinner with meat or mushroom sauce, won't you? And look for other Chef Boyardee's products. They're also delicious, they're also nourishing, and they help keep the cost of your meals down. Chef Boyardee's products are at Best Grocers.
Ask for Chef Boyardee's spaghetti dinner. Only about 15 cents a serving.
Everybody needs energy-packed Sunbeam bread. Yes, it's all aboard for fun in the park, but Junior hasn't got energy enough for fun. He'd sure like to ride that horse. Hey, what's this? An energy-packed Sunbeam sandwich. You bet every delicious slice of Sunbeam bread sure does pack a big energy wallop. There's nothing like Sunbeam Energy to help you stay on the beam. Now, look at them go. On Sunbeam Energy, they sure do enjoy life. Everybody needs the kind of real zip and zing pep that delicious Sunbeam bread gives you. Yes, stay on the beam with energy-packed Sunbeam bread. All day long, eat Sunbeam bread and renew energy as you burn it up. Eat delicious Sunbeam bread.
Yes, sir. If you want real entertainment, the best place to find it is in front of a General Electric Black Daylight Big-as-Life television set. Sports, comedy, drama, news, music. Yes, they're all yours, merely at the turn of a dial. This model has a big 16-inch black rectangular tube that lets you see everything that the camera sees, true to life and as big as life. Sparkling contrast and sharp focus give you pictures of such clarity that you feel you're right there on the scene. The cabinet, designed and constructed by America's leading cabinet makers, fits gracefully into any type of room. Genuine mahogany veneers, hand-rubbed for lasting beauty and durability, are just one example of the painstaking attention to every detail, which makes this cabinet one that you'll be proud to have in your home. The precision engineering and careful assembly techniques used in making this General Electric Black Daylight television set are your assurance of television at its finest. See it in operation at your General Electric dealers tomorrow. And when you see it, well, you'll know that you're seeing the best.
Daddy! Gee, Mom was counting on that Jell-O cake for Johnny's Scout meeting tomorrow. Okay, Daddy. It's so easy to make a cake with Betty Crocker cake mix. I'll make her another one. White cake, devil's food, yellow cake.
It's a good thing her mom's modern. I'm Betty Crocker. With my yellow cake mix, all you do is add water and a couple of fresh eggs. The other ingredients are in the package. Same fine things you'd use right in your own home. You'll get a perfect cake just like this, or write General Mills, Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they'll send your money back. A high cake, a light cake, a better tasting cake.
And don't think it isn't. That's why Betty Crocker herself says,
I guarantee a perfect cake every time you bake, cake after cake after cake.
What? Keeping the coffee in the icebox?
Yes, Mr. Jones, it's a new kind of coffee, roasted by a new secret process. Hence, this new none-such coffee has a different flavor, a flavor preserved by vacuum packing, the flavor retained by refrigeration after the jar has been opened. Just taste it. You can't miss that delicate aroma, that clean, mellow taste. Yes, in cooking, the way to a man's heart is most of all through the coffee pot. In every jar, you'll find 3 special pointers, valuable in all methods of making coffee. Try new none-such coffee now. Use half the jar. If not 100% satisfied, get all your money back from your grocer without argument. Special for Movie Week, only 28 cents a pound, plus 3 cents refundable deposit on the jar.
Now, class, Mr. Tiger will show us how Kellogg's Sugar Frosted Flakes cereal starts out.
Is the flake real?
It's a cornfield. Kellogg's toast corn into golden flakes and adds a secret frosting. Helps keep them extra crunchy and delicious. It's part of your good breakfast and tastes.
I know, great!
Sit down to breakfast with Tony, and you'll discover why it's great.
Mr. Tiger, you're wonderful.
Oh, shucks.
Satisfying cups of pleasure. A coffee break makes the moment right. Fresh aroma, friendly flavor. Make it coffee, make it often, make it right.
To brighten any moment.
Make it coffee.
To enjoy that fresh aroma.
Make it often.
Make it up fresh each time in a clean container. And for full flavor,
make it right.
And here's how. For each cup of fresh drawn water, use 1 approved measure of your favorite coffee. That's all, 1 approved measure per cup.
Satisfying cups of pleasure. A coffee break makes the moment bright. Fresh aroma, friendly flavor. Make it coffee. Make it often. Make it right.
Hi, Chad. Welcome back, everyone. Let's see what we got going on down here. That is looking lovely. No real browning to it, though, but I guess we can live with that. That's also looking pretty good, too. Do I want to pull that now? I'll leave the bread pudding in there for a moment while I plate dinner. I'm going to start off with some of this dirty White Castle rice. Yeah, I know, timer. Yeah. We lost some of the filling. Might need to swap pork chops here with that loss. Actually, I'm not gonna save that. We're gonna swap out pork chops though. Pork is going to be great. Stuffing, I think, is going to be amazing. Rice, we'll see with the salsa in there, if that plays well or not. And I've done bread puddings based off of burgers in the past. Thanks, chat. They generally go okay, as long as it isn't like the beef quality isn't like disgusting, which I don't think it will be. I mean, in the past, I've even gone to the extent of making mustard and ketchup frostings. But anyways, this is main dinner dish. What do I think of White Castle? I think they're an amazing drunk food. It's about the only time I'm ever gonna think to go there. I don't even know if there is one in Sonoma County. I can't think of seeing one on the road anytime, and I've driven all over this county. Uh-oh. There we go. Hi, chat. Let's see how our bread pudding's looking. I think this turned out all right looking. I did a little pushback to see that it had cooked. It bounces back nicely. I don't even know if I have a toothpick that I can do that. Yeah, I do have a toothpick. We can. I want a little bit more color on top of it, but it's certainly cooked through, is where I'm at with this. And it's a bread pudding too, so you want, like, you don't want it dried out, solid ground top to it in reality, but like you want to, like, bread puddings are not a pretty dish. They're delicious, but they're not pretty. And most times they're just absolutely covered in sauce to hide the fact that they're not pretty. They're still delicious. Again, regretting not buttering this dish before putting the other than dropping the fruit out of it, that held together pretty well. Let's get photos before I completely destroy things. I should have gotten a photo of it in the plate like that. Tomorrow Jason is not going to like today, Jason. Nah, screw him. How can I sneak this in here? All he does is complain anyways. Okay, let's see what all this tastes like. Starting with tomato rice. The beef is saving this. Yeah, that works. It's delicious. I'm not going to break into the actual pork here on stream, but I'll give this stuffing a try. A little soft, a little moist. Could have dried out that bread stuffing a bit more. I wouldn't have wanted to cook the pork anymore, though. This is bordering on overdone. Yep, we got a bread stuffing, or a slider stuffing, stuffed in our pork chop. And then I also did a sort of like dirty rice using the sliders. And this is our slider pudding. Which... No, that doesn't work. There's something there that's just not happy. I've made bread puddings before with, let's see if it's the blackberry. I think it just doesn't play well with the egg. I think the egg in the burger is what's the problem there, not the maybe not enough sugar. It's not overly sweet. I only added like maybe not even a quarter cup. I got half the container of fruit as is. I'm definitely going to allow that to cool and give that another shot when it cools. But warm, I don't think that's a winner while it's still warm. This is all delicious. Alright, folks, I'm going to leave it there. Going to be back here on Friday like our usual schedule. Going to be, if anyone's unfamiliar with this on Friday, I understand the non-Canadians, this is a Canadian dish, and I'm not even really a Canadian other than I've been there a bunch of times because I used to live up north. Going to be replicating Swiss chalet dipping sauce or chicken sauce, or it's addicting. Gonna try and replicate it at home here. So that is the plans for Friday. So traditional chicken dinner, but focus on the sauce being served with the chicken. We've got chicken stock on Sunday. Gonna be a long stream on Sunday. Gonna be streaming all day on Sunday. So I hope you come back to join me. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. It was a fun challenge. Dessert didn't really turn out, but I mean, do you really expect burgers to turn into an amazing dessert? I think I've done better for burgers for dessert than this, to be fair, too. Go out and enjoy Cheese Pizza Day tomorrow. It's National Cheese Pizza Day tomorrow. And have a great rest of your weeks. Good night.